All right. So financial confidence is crucial. It's crucial in both decision making and in achieving personal or business goals. This can be used, in different ways. And why does financial confidence matter? So let's go over a few of those reasons because I think they're really important. The first one is it drives decisive action. So when you're confident, you're not second guessing yourself and you start to take action. So when you have financial confidence, you make decisions, faster and far more effectively. So you get stuff done. And you step into it. And you don't get stuck in analysis paralysis or fear of making the wrong move, because I've seen that stop so many people in their tracks for a very long time. And confidence leads to clarity, and clarity leads to momentum. So those things are going to get you into action, which is really where you want to go. It also reduces emotional decision making, which isn't always the best way to make decisions. So confidence creates even in financial stress. And financially confident people are less reactive and more strategic about what they do. So they're not going to do something because they feel a certain way. They're going to do something because it makes sense. They're able to pause, assess, and choose based on the long-term impact, not on the short-term fear, which can drive a lot of decisions and not always in a good way. Because emotional neutrality equals smarter money moves. But, a lot of us are, me included, not, it took a while to not be emotionally attached to money because there's so much importance around it in our society, in our lives, in our family, social circles. Confidence is such a big part of this because it helps keep you focused on your goals. So it helps you keep your eye on the prize, even when challenges show up. And believe me, that's just life, right? Life is full of challenges, and, learning to respond and not react is really the key. So when you trust yourself financially, you're more likely to stick to meaningful goals and not just go off and do stuff, right? You're able to stay committed to your financial plan instead of self-sabotaging where things start to go well and you're like, oh, I don't know, I can't handle this. I'm going to have to do something to stop it. And it's a lot of it's unconscious. And I think I mentioned this earlier. You bounce better back from setbacks because you believe you can recover and succeed and move forward. It's not going to be like one step forward and 5 steps back, because then, like, what's the point? It also financial confidence matters because it improves communication around money, which is so key. Confident people talk about money without fear, shame, or apology. When I'm talking to someone about what I do, and I tell them what I do, and they say to me, when I worked in corporate, I'll give you a story. When I worked in corporate, I worked there for decades as a commodities trader, and they packaged me out at one point, which, and not in a good way. They said I did something I didn't do, like took a perk from a trucker, something ridiculous. And, I took them to court, and I got some good compensation. And, I just decided at that time that I was only going to do things that made me happy, brought me joy, that helped people, because that's still really important to me. And that made me boatloads of money. I mean, I love money. So when I would say this to people, I would take a lot of shame or judgment from them. And I thought that is so interesting because it wasn't mine, it was theirs and their perception, right? So just understanding that you own that with confidence, people are actually looking at you and just saying, I want what she has, probably in the back of their mind, whether it's conscious or subconscious. You ask for what you're worth when you're confident. You negotiate. You say no when it doesn't align. You don't have to say yes to everyone. Know the power of your no and when to use it. This is a whole other training we could do. This is key for business owners, professionals, and individuals and partnerships, because your voice becomes the tool of wealth, not silence. If you don't say anything, nothing can happen. Okay. And then building confidence expands risk tolerance, but in a smart way. So it helps you to take aligned risks, things that feel good to you, the kind that grow wealth, right? So you invest with purpose instead of panic. Okay, you're open to opportunities because you trust your judgment and your intuition. And you're no longer playing small to stay safe. And this is a big one for people playing small, because they don't want to be too seen, or don't want to make too many moves, or don't want to make too much money, right? The next is create self-reliance and resilience. I mean, I am a 3-time world champion martial artist. I know what both of those things mean, and I'm very good at them because I've had practice, practice, practice. So confidence gives you the inner stability even when external circumstances shift or things happen. You stop relying on external validation or permission from anyone. You trust yourself to make, manage, and multiply your money because you know you can do it. You feel equipped to pivot, rebuild, grow, and grow again. And, I've scaled 3 times now, and I'm ready to scale again. So again, that means all of those things: pivot, rebuilding, and growing. And the last one is confidence attracts opportunities. People trust those who trust themselves. So whether it's investors, clients, collaborations, financial confidence, it's magnetic. People want it. It signals leadership and capability and readiness.